All right, welcome back to Career Build Series. This is episode 90. So, last episode, we ended up having a problem with the barge. Dragging two small barges. Once you despawn, they go crazy, trying to connect to one another and everything else. So it would require splitting the barges. So ended up reloading an older save, coming up here. I put in the money that I would have made. Came down, did a rescue, came over here. Now I'm at Komodo on my test world. And so the new plan is build a larger barge that where we can do smaller number of screwing around essentially. We don't have to do as many trips. We also don't have to set them up as long, try to hook multiple barges and splitting them apart and then going in there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of slap together a quick barge here and try to get this going here. Let me save this. And I will try to get that older barge finished up. So I so off screen I headed over here. I teleported up to this island. This island has the same size workbench as over here at Komodo, so that's good. Like 56 meters long, 87 blocks. I forget how many. 87 blocks wide. I forget how many meters that is, but that allows me to get a good barge in there. So let me look at some quick. Let me look at a couple oil barge designs here. I think I pulled one up. I'm trying to get one that's kind of trying to see if there's any 50-meter oil barges. Trying to grab some diagrams. Just get out to get the length width somewhat. Just trying to get the dimensions correct. So just kind of looking at a couple things. What's that? That is a self-propelled barge. We don't want that. Here's 190 foot. So that's a little bit on the long side, but what is this one? Flat top barge is what I want. Let me see. I'm trying to just kind of check the dimensions out. Some of these websites are brutal. It's just like a stock photo website that has the dimensions on it, and it just makes it difficult. All right, let me try to. I'm just kind of looking. I'll show you once I find an image that's worth looking at. I'm just trying to kind of get a general dimension. I find it's often good if you look online and look at some pictures. You can generally try to get a reasonable plan of what it should look like. And they look correct if they're they'll actually look correct if you use some reference material. So often you find they don't look right and they look weird if you don't use reference material. So often I try to use reference material if I can. And then they love to make tiny little images that are hard to get to reference. So let me see. I found one earlier. I'm going to grab that. It's being difficult trying to find one off Google at the moment. So I found an oil barge. I'll bring up that image. All right, so let me bring this up. So this is what I'm looking at here. You see, this shows 100 meters by 33 meters by 7.6 meters. So we're talking a 3-to-1, which is pretty standard. I think 3-to-1 length to width. Capacity of Visual being able to tow this is going to be on the is going to be important. So barge should be pretty simple. So let me see. So that was 100 meters. So a 3-to-1 is essentially what I want. So I want to make some extra space. I don't want this being too enormous. If it's too enormous, it's going to be a pain to get in and out of that refinery as well. And then Rizzo really isn't big enough to be dealing with a massive barge. It doesn't take long to build one. This is going to be just pretty much a box. That is 42.75 meters long. So let me see. Let me do 2.75. All right, so right there, if I delete this out, that should be 40 meters long. Let me check it out here. That there is 40 meters long. Okay. So we're talking about 13 meters wide. What's that? That is 12.75. So let's see, 13.5 meters. This probably is. Let me see. That's 13.75. Let's try this. What's that? 13 and a quarter. So that's 13 and a quarter. That's pretty good, I think. So I'm just going to kind of lay out my design plan here. Building on the scale can be tough to... All right, so that's kind of my size. All right, and then let me start working on, so what was it? 7.6 meters tall. We kind of think that level. See what's that? That is 4.5 meters. So this is half that, so let's say half of that. Yeah, that's not bad. 4.5 meters is pretty reasonable, I think. That's pretty good height. You know, things look huge in the editor, and then you get them in the world, and they start to not look as huge. So, gonna kind of... Nice thing with building barges, too, is they don't have to be, you know, they're not pretty. And so that really cuts down your work. So that's my barge, dimensionally. Let's get this dropped in the world here. I kind of want to see it first person. Yeah, so that doesn't look insane. That really, you know, that looked huge in the editor. That doesn't look insane to be towing with Frigio. That looks pretty reasonable. All right, so that's going to be the barge. It's let's quickly decide its so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start I'll start the trimming process right off the bat. So I want to determine the water line. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to determine the water line by, I'm going to snap a black line here where let's see if I can get the right paint. Let's snap it there. That's where I'm thinking the water line is going to be. I also want, I don't know how tall, I think my walls were three high on the other barge. That's where I'm going to be wall height. So that would be my internal kind of safety wall. You know, we could transpo, I want to make this so that we can put a crane on here later if we want. So I want it set up so that it can be versatile. So that's kind of my water line. Here's this black line. Let me finish painting it across. Killing me, Smalls. Let's go across here. And then what I'm going to do is, so a real petroleum barge is double hulled, and that way you're not, if you pierce the exterior hull, you're not leaking oil into the water. And so this is beneficial. So like if you were doing a ship, like my T800, it has a U-shaped ballast. And so what you do is you fill that ballast with water when there's no oil in there. And the reason you need that is you have a big superstructure on top. It's top heavy. It will roll over. Also, the barges tend to be wider than the ships, it seems, and they're more square. So barge really doesn't want to tip over. The ships, you need to keep them low in the water to be able to make them to work properly. Plus, you need to make sure the screws underwater to, you know, propel itself properly. With a barge, you don't need to worry about any of that. So what they do is they don't fill them with water, I don't think. They just leave them in the air. And so let's see. So the backs tend to be pretty pretty much like, let me fill this with water, with some diesel. So I don't need a ton. I'm looking at, 90,000 liters is what I'm looking at here. Let's go 50%. I doubt we get 50% in there and we get a good float. Yeah, see, 50% insanity. Let's try 25%. 25% seems better. So that's 3/4 of the volume will be air. Yep, see, perfect. That could even go a little bit higher, but so that right there, and we're going to cut into that. I'm going to cut out some of that buoyant volume, so that's probably good. So 25% is probably what we're looking at here. Yeah, so 25% of the volume being air, being the oil, is going to be pretty good. So that 75% is the air ballast. Plus, we're only adding weight at this point, and we're losing some of the interior volume. So that's gonna get us right to where we want to be. So this is oversimplified, but this is important to do your testing early. Okay, so that is an enormous amount of fuel. That's 503,000 liters of fuel that's in there right there, and that's 25% full. So there's an incredible amount of fluid. Let's do this now. Oh, come on. Bring that back in. Let's save this. So this could really shrink considerably. All right, so that is a massive volume. Let's do a pull test. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to shrink this barge. I don't think it needs to be this big. All right, so take the latest Rougeot. Let me move this and get this out into the bay a little bit here, and then I'm going to hook on, and I'm just going to see what my pull is. Of course, that's an insane volume. I don't expect this to be hauling 500,000 liters. You know, that's over $100,000 just to fill it with diesel. So that's, I don't expect to be using something that large. Which direction am I headed here? This way. Okay. Let me stick an anchor on here. I'm going to do a quick tow test. And then this will kind of tell me what we're doing here. Okay. So we have our large barge in there. Let me make sure all the fluid's in there. Yep, we have lots of diesel in there. That's good. Let's do a fast tow test and see what's what. Likely, I'm going to want to shrink this. There's no point in this being this huge. It's going to be hard to maneuver. And with it being a barge that I'm not going to put too much effort into, I don't really need it to be, it's something if I need a bigger barge later, I can always build a larger barge later. So let's get a max speed on this. So that's not bad. That's 3 knots. The issue is we get a little bit of seas here. That's really hard for me to tow. So that there is kind of on the ridiculous end. So what I think I'm gonna do, let me do some quick math here. Let's do this. Let's grab the rope here. Okay. Alright, so let's figure this out. So, currently, this is holding 500,000 liters. So I want about double that. Not double that. Alright, so 1/10 of this size barge would hold 50,000 liters. So I want 1/5. So probably 1/5 of the size of this barge would take care of my needs. So really this is a box. Let's just start fresh. Alright, so that's a box. Let me undo that. Okay. Let's do measurements again. It should be 40 meters by 13 something. That is 1325 and it was 40 meters long. Yeah, so 40 meters long and 1325. Okay, let's start fresh. All right, so we want 1/5 of that. So, you know, so that's not bad. So, let me see. So 40 meters, 1/5 of that, 8 meters, something like that. I doubt that doesn't sound long enough to me. No way in hell. Let's see. What is that? So 20 meters would be half the size of that barge. Yeah, let me see. I find that I'm a little dubious at that. That 8 meters is going to be enough. Let me check. So 7.75, yeah. See the volume, because we also have the height volume. I'm also cutting the height volume probably in half. So like that right there, that's 8 meters. Let's do 16 meters. 16 meters right there. With 13.5. Let's see, what do we have there? Check that. That is 8.25 meters. That's good. What was our, I'm trying to remember what our height was on the last one. I forget. Is it 4.5? Let's go down here. Let's check what I think is going to be good. That there is 3.25. Let's check it. So let's do a quick test. You know, we lose a bunch of air volumes, so going as small isn't going to work. So I'm going to kind of run some tests here with this. I want about 90 to 100,000 liters is what I'm thinking. So let's go put a diesel spawner on here. I want again 25%. I think is a good ratio here. Let's put a meter on there. Meter, and let's put a dial. All right, fluid level there. Let's spawn it. All right, so it's floating. Let's see what the volume is. So that's 82,578. So that's pretty close. That's pretty close. That's a reasonable size. How big is our other barge? Let's this could grow a little bit. Let me save this. Let me open up our other barge, see what we're looking at here. What's the... That is 14. Yeah, so just a tiny bit. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'll grow this some. Alright, so let's do this. Let's do 20 meters. So was it 1975? I want 1975. 1975 there. Let's say 9 meters wide. That 8.25. 8.25, that's 875. It's 875 right there. Let me double check it, but I think that's 875. There's 875. Let's make it 4 meters. So that should be what that's excessive, I think. See what we're at here. 375. 375. That's not bad. Let's check this for volume here. This should probably be pretty good volume-wise. I'm going to have to add a bunch of block inside. We're going to cut out some of the air volume in there, so building a little on the larger side I think is going to be good. Alright, and then I want to set this to 0.25. Alright, so there is a reasonable size. We're going to lose some air volume when we put in. So that's 130,000. I think that's what we're going to go with. We'll start with this here. Let's save that over this. That's going to be, I think, a better size. And then I want 3 high walls. Okay. And then this will, I think this will set us up nicely. This isn't as insane as the Uber barge that I was building. So let's get working on this. This is the front of it here. So let me see. Let me kind of paint on a water line. So that's full. That's where I want it. Let me check here. I want to spawn it and see where we're sitting. So let's let it settle a little bit. It dropped in the water some. Alright, so water line could go down 1. Alright, so there's our water line. That will inform how I build this. Okay, there we go. So now let's start working the front, which is up over here. Alright, let's start working on this. Let me grab some block here and start. I think that's good there. Let me undo it so I can see where I'm at. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, so that's kind of the front, and then try to look at my picture here. Where's my picture? All right, and then we have a more sloped rear. I don't want to make this too pretty. This is just going to be... Yeah, I'm not going to overly pretty this. Might even make it symmetrical. I think what I'll do is I'll do a 2x here, but I'll leave more space. So it'd be more like this, I think. Yeah, I think that. So we'll have more space in the water. That will hopefully cause us to have, you know, less sinking, because the way Stormworks works with wedges and buoyancy is a little bit funky. All right, so there we go. That's going to kind of be that. I will smooth. If you remember the last barge when I was working on it, it you know, it got refined more over the time. Part of the reason I like doing that is you start to learn what works after using it, and you know, if you find out your barge just has fundamental flaws or whatever vehicle you're making, it's better, you know, that's why it takes me so long to paint things, is I want to make sure they're actually working before I go ahead and paint them up and make them pretty and start to really like them. Because if you have a fundamental flaw, it's easy to throw it away. It's easy to do a rebuild. You saw what Katie did. I kind of did a almost fundamental rebuild pretty quickly, because there were some things about it. I was like, yep, that's not either working the way I want to, or I prefer it to be somewhere else. Well, you know, you don't get attached to it yet, and it's, you know, you don't kind of hate it when you have to make a big change because it's not really something, a build you've fallen in love with yet. So that's my general shaping of it. Again, it's a barge. It's ugly. It's supposed to be simple. All right, so that is, does that have any fluid in it? I don't think, it must not. It's sitting awfully high to have fluid in it. Nope, deleted the spawner. So let's put a spawner back in there. And 25%. All right, so see how this is sitting. All right, so see the stern has those 1x2s. That's in a little lower. Not bad, so that's pretty good there. That's rock on the money where I want it. That's good. So this is coming out nicely. Real simple, really easily. Just, you know. All right. Let's see. How do I want to do this here? Maybe 1x2 pyramids here. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do there. So let me, yep, so I think that's good. Again, I don't want this to be overly fancy. I just want it to, very functional. The barge, it's not supposed to be fancy. It's kind of functional. And then I can do a 1x here. You know, I could come up one block on it. It's a little on the tall side. I think I will come up a block on it. Yeah, I'll come up a block on it here. So we'll delete out this whole bottom section here. Just the way the 1x2s worked out is not ideal. But again, it's not a big deal. It's actually sitting a little bit taller than I like. So that's not something that's going to bother me to delete it out and redo the bottom. Seems like we have plenty of buoyancy on this, so that's kind of the main concern, is the functionality of it all. Will it function? I think it will function well. All right, good. So we have a new belly in there. Put some block in here. There we go. Let's cut in here and fix this last section. There we go. Okay, so we're in business here. That's set up. We have the front set up. Let's do this here. This is going to be... how do I want to set this up? Let me see how I have to put these in to get this kind of done the way I want it. So these are going to go, not 2x4s. 1x2s is what it's going to have to be. Yep, 1x2s is fine. And then this, I want it to be, let me see, is this going to screw me up here? No. A little bit. Actually, could have kept that bottom section, I think. Okay, so this here, let me go like this. This could be a little weird, but because I'm using two different sizes, but we'll see. See how this connects. This might be a little bit of a disaster, but let me see. This isn't going to line up, I don't think. No, that won't line up. How do I want to do this? I think what I do is I do 1x2 on that side. Make the barge symmetrical. And so what I'm going to do here is delete a lot of this out here. had it there for a second. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and copy out this whole section here. That way we're also not having to worry about as much about how it sits in the water. You know, it should sit better anyway, so let's copy that. All right, and just push that to the back. All right, there we go. And then this is going to be a little bit simpler to connect here. All right, so that's set up. We have the spawner in there still. What is it? Why is it in the belly? What is that? The spawner? Diesel spawner, spawn it. All right, so that's getting more symmetrical. Sitting a little lower, I think. Just a hair, but it's not bad. Yeah, okay, good. The water line could even come up one if I wanted to. It's just paint. Quickly, I'm going to check the volume again. Yep, I got to connect the dial. There's my meter. All right, 118, perfect. So let's start working on this. So I kind of want to do kind of realistic tank in here. So it should be air volume all around, and then have centralized fuel tank. That will also, you know, if we leak, you know, if we were to leak in game, you know, that allows us to save some of our fuel. So let's go an odd distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Not 5. Okay, so let's okay. And then I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off the wall. What's that? 4, 5 there. All right, so there we go. There's where our tank's going to be. So this is going to be our outside volume, and then the tank's going to be centralized. I'm thinking go 3 up maybe. So let's start building our tank. So 1, 2, 3 up, so that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be the belly of the tank. All right, so that's the bottom of the tank here. And then let's connect that out and get that in there. So now we have, as you see, air all around. That's what we want. And then let's go all the way up to the floor pan here like that. Connect that. And then we'll connect these walls, and then we'll do the new volume of the interior tank. So of course that's going to go up volume-wise because we can put, you know, we can fill this. Let me try putting 100% in here. I think I just dropped 2 blocks. I did. So a new spawner will be set to 100 to start with. Get out of there. Meter. And I think the dial's still sitting on the top, so let me, hopefully it is. Fluid level. Yep. Spawn that in and check it. Make sure it's floating. It is. It's sitting a little bit in the water, so it's probably more on the higher side. That's 152,000 liters. That's good. That will last us a little bit longer even. That's a lot of air volume. That will should be able to hold containers on this. Let me check the width again. What do we have width-wise here? Just curious in case we want to do containers. Like I said, containers really aren't all that viable in this way. That's beautiful. That's 33 blocks wide, so a container is 29. So what's that? That should be there. Yeah, so, nope, 31. So this should be the length of a container right here. Yep, so, nope, 27, 28, 29. How is this? All right, so that's the length of a container, or that's the, let me just make some containers on deck, kind of see where we're at container-wise. Like I said, the viability of a container really isn't huge. It's better to take it by truck unless we go to the Arctic, but this will give us the ability to go to the Arctic. So what do I need here? 10. All right, so that's 11, right? 11. Yep. Okay, so this here is a container. So this here, right here, is a container. So I'm just going to kind of check, just for funsies, what the containers look like. So copy that. If we were to put containers on, I could put them sideways. How many spaces did I leave? 2. I leave 2 for a walk path. That's beautiful. That just happened to work out. Leave 2 around as a walk path. That leaves a space. Plus, put them a couple blocks apart. Makes them so they don't snap together crazy. So we're probably not going to get 2 more in here. Actually, probably can. Yes, so see. But anyways, we could theoretically get 5 on deck. And we just shrink them, put them more towards the center. But theoretically, we get 5 containers sideways on deck. So that's kind of cool. Not that that's what we're going to necessarily use it for, but, you know, it's there as a potential. Also has a lot of air volume, which means a lot of buoyancy for, I want to try to do something with a crane or something. All right, so that's pretty cool. That's working well for us. So we're kind of in business here. So we have our internal volume here. We have air ballast all around. Let's do a tow test while we're here. I kind of want to go up 1 on the paint. So let's put the water line up 1. Oh, come on, not. Yep. So we'll go up 1 on this water line. And I'm going to see what this, do a tow test. We'll see what this looks like to tow. Alrighty. So this, I think, better for the water line there. It's a little on the tall side, but that gives it, I think, a little resiliency. Yeah, making it symmetrical, well, it looks a little dopey and doesn't look all that interesting. It certainly makes it function well. This end, that is full. All right, so we're looking at 150,000 liters of capacity here. Let me check it. 152 to 18. I want to see how fast I can pull it with Peugeot. We can always fill it to 50%. You know, we can set a limit on there so you know, we don't fill the tank. We don't always have to fill it. And that water line is below water for some reason, even though I moved it up 1. But that's actually better. That makes me think it's not so crazy tall. Oh, come on. Don't be in the way. There we go. All right, let's let some line out and let's start taking up slack. All right, so that's not bad. That's 6 knots, 5-6 knots. You know, we're not going to be able to fill that off the bat. But we're towing. That's a good bit of weight. Let's make it crazy here. That's a following sea. Up. Can't ride with my door open. That's a problem. I need to put a bilge in there. It reads that as an enclosed volume. So we're probably going to launch this, I would say, max at 90,000 liters is what I'm going to put in there. I don't want to shrink the volume. What I'll do is I'll put a valve in with the microcontroller that essentially you close the valve when it reaches your desired fill level. So that's also cool. That lets you go AFK and you can only fill it as much as you want. So like say I want to fill 90,000 liters. Once it reaches 90,000 liters, it will automatically close the valve and you can't fill it anymore. So that's something to do. Um, but pretty simple and it's working well. So let's forgot this is still max speed. Okay, let me grab this. All right, so that's good. That is a good test. Oh, let's see what's in. Yeah, so we're talking 2 barges would be about 50% of the capacity of the old barge. So that's pretty good. Let's start doing some quick decorating. Save this to the new barge. Let's look at our old barge really quick. So what, I actually have higher walls. 1, 2, 3. Those are 4s. Okay, so let's do 4s on that. I like the 4s, and I'm just kind of checking design here. So let me increase that to 4s. Okay. There's my 4s. Okay, good. So we're at 4s now. Killing me here. Let's do this. 4s there. Why is this having such problems? Go there, please. All right, so that allows me to have, what did I have in there? Okay, let me save this. I'm gonna have to reference the other one. I like what I did with design-wise with the other barge, so I'm just kind of trying to mimic it a little bit here. So at the deck, it has solids and then 2s. Okay, that's good. Yep. So rail, solids, and then, okay, that's why I did it that way. All right, so let's do, kind of count, I need to count them a little bit too. So let's go, let's try 3s here. Try 4s. See if I can go 4s here. I'm trying to just make so I don't have to do as much. Let's see how this shapes up. Definitely tall, but some of those barges are on the tall side, so it doesn't bother me all that much. So that's not bad. I have one section that's off. What I think I'll do is put the off section in the back here. There we go. All right, so that's pretty good. Actually, I want it in the middle. It's going to be a pain in the butt, but it allows me to put my doors in. So let me go, what's the middle? That is 78. I see, I wish that was an odd number. Odd number would be better. Let me make it an odd number. I'm discontent with it being an even number, so just make it an odd number. All right, there we go. So that's going to be, we'll add a little volume inside, but again, we're going to control the volume of how much we actually fill. It also adds air volume at the same time, so that actually doesn't add any extra tank volume. That's just going to add air volume, so it'll give us a little more buoyancy. So that's not bad. Let's see, and we'll put some on the deck here. All right, so there we go. See where we're at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to make that. So that's okay. So that's symmetrical now. Alright, so that's symmetrical. That's an odd value now. See, is this odd? This should be odd. Odd lets us split the numbers really well. Alright, 75, so what's that? 35 and 4, so 39. What is it? 79. Okay. 39. My center right here. Okay. So 40 is the center. Right there's the center. Okay, good. So let's undo that. Let's make the door here. So this will be my central door. And then we'll have short symmetrical there. Okay, good. So now let's take the wedge pieces and I can fill that out. All right, so there we go. This is going to be a quick little bit of design. There we go. Liking that. Kind of want to smooth this edge here a little bit. I don't know how I do it though with it being doubles now. Yeah, I don't know how to smooth that with it being doubles. I have to smooth it with twos. I'm not interested in screwing around with that. This doesn't need to be all that pretty. All right, let's save that. Start grabbing some colors off the old barge. I know I probably have them, but it's easier for me just to grab them and open it at this point. All right, there was a hole in, there's a hole right there that caused that problem. There, come on. Killing me here. I think I do it. I didn't save that color. Let me just save up the colors. That'll be quicker and easier. All right, let me grab some colors here. Add them here. And then what is this? That I'll just keep. All right. All right, so we have that color there. Let's grab this, put that water line, and then that is, we have the green for the decking. All right, good. So that's starting to set up nicely. Need to do the, let me do the detailing on the front. Words, English. Okay, let me find the center here. Watch this be symmetrical. God, my problems. That is 33, luckily not symmetrical. So that would be 15, 17, 17. That's it. I don't need to count it. It's right here. Yeah, 17 anyway. All right, so that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What was this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's count from the outside, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, that's there, and then I'm gonna grab it like this. I'll stick that in the back here like this. All right, so we're making progress here. This needs to lead out for my doors. Okay. Now I can finish painting. Okay. All right, so we're getting some good paint done here fast. All right, let's do in here now. All right, so painted up pretty nicely. Looking like our old barge here. All right, so a little bit of paint inside that I don't really want, but it doesn't matter. All right, so I should be able to trade out my doors for the other doors here. So let's save this. Let's open up the other barge here. I have a little battery, and then we'll do a shore power. We'll do kind of a transfer power for the from Brigeau. Okay. Is there another block of door here? Where does this door end? Okay, it's right there at the. Okay, so it is there. Okay. Not that I couldn't have slapped these together really quick, but this just makes it that much easier. Did I make these rails too high? I think I did. How did I make the rails too high? I don't think, no, I didn't. Okay, just mostly my imagination, I think. Okay, so there's a door there. Let's copy that. You, yep, you should do it. All right, so there we go. We have some doors for there, and then I think I have a microcontroller called door now. Where is door? Yep, door microcontroller here. Hope I have symmetry on. Logic, let's see. Is symmetry on? Symmetry's on, so there should be another one over here. There is, good. All right, good. And then we're going to need a battery that I'll just power from shore power. Let me put in, so that can go. Not going to tow from that low. I'm going to need paint here. Back all set up that way? It is. Okay, so those are our doors. Come on, give me the paint that I'm looking for here. There we go. Okay, so that's all set up. Let's see. This also has sits higher in the water, which is nice. Less wash in the deck. Alright, so this is shaping up quickly and easily, and things are working. So, yep. Pretty good there. Let's plummet. Try to decide. We actually do better with wash here. We're not getting as much wash on the deck. I think how I want to set up this pumping system here. Kind of think I'm going to do exposed pipes. Where's my center point? Right here, right where the door is. So let's do it right here by the door. Where's my front arrow? Okay, that's the front. It doesn't really matter, it's symmetrical, but I'm going to do the same type of locker that I had on the last one. I have symmetry on. Yeah, I don't want it symmetrical. Save this. Let's open up the other barge. I'm going to grab everything here. Make it easier. Yeah, that's all. That is a bunch of plumbing and stuff that's just going to be easier to grab. There's like the dial and all that. There we go. Just a lot easier, I think, to kind of put it in. Where's the door meet here? Should be right here. Okay. Alright, so that sets us up nicely there with having to not have to screw around too much. Alright, so there are 3 hoses there. Symmetry still on? Get off. Alright. Fluid. I used to be a stickler for putting them at the bottom of the tanks, even though you didn't need to. They're in the wrong spots. But you don't have to put them at the bottom. Put them wherever you want. These fluid ports, they'll kind of vacuum it up. So. All right, there we go. It's going to fill us now. Okay. So we're kind of set up now. This is kind of set. So what I want to do here is I need my doors to be able to work. So I'm just going to put a battery. Symmetry just to get the center line here. Okay, do that. And then what I'm going to do is I will put a cable connection here. And then that will just connect electricity to the battery. Battery will go out to everything electrical. That way I can just recharge the battery. You know, it's not going to need much. Not that those need to be connected to electricity, but I have. Okay, very simple. So that should set us up nicely. All right, so that's a pretty good barge. Very simple, no anchors. You know, it can connect. Pretty simple. Let's. I think I'm going to put a transponder on here. Okay, put a transponder on there. That's going to be just for I'm going to just do that so that if I were to leave this at sea, that I could find it. And that gives me the option if I want to turn on when I leave, I can do that. So pretty simple. All right, just a simple feature. All right, so I think that wraps that up. We'll wrap this video up here. And that gets me to the point here where I now have, I would say, a superior barge for what we're looking to do. Larger fuel transpo. Should be able to easily go and do this. I didn't add on the system I wanted where it closes the valves. Do I have space for 3 valves? I do. Okay, let me do this. I don't have the micro hooked up for. I need to put in meter. Okay, so there are 3 valves. Let me put a meter in here. Okay, so there's a meter. Meter's gonna symmetry on. Nope, good, thank you. Okay, so this is gonna go to fluid level goes to here. It's a direct readout. So this is a real simple system. And then let me see how I have this set up in here. I want to put a keypad, so that's perfect. And put a keypad right here. Keypad. And so what I'll do is I'll write a real simple microcontroller that essentially I'll be able to type in the keypad how much I want, the maximum capacity I want, and what it's going to do is it's going to close a valve. It will close the valves when it reaches that amount. That way I can go AFK, do whatever, and it will allow the valves to automatically close. And then they will, they'll auto close, and then it will stop me taking on more fuel, more fluid. So I don't say I have 90,000 in cash and I only want to spend 60,000 in cash. I can figure that out, put in the number. Let's see, valve. Okay, logic. Properties. Okay, let's see. I need number in from the meter. And then I need number in from the meter, number in from the keypad. And then this is an output to the valves. Okay, properties there. All right, so I want to take the number from the meter. I want to put a floor in there. So let me see, add on floor X. Floor. That's going to keep it from open and closing the valves. It's going to give me a whole number. All right, so essentially if the amount in the tanks is greater than the keypad, does that open or close the valves? Let me look. That just changes to a less than if that's the key. Let me see. Real simple. We'll do this. I'll test it. I can't remember off the top of my head, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to jump in there, and then I'm going to just visually check it. Okay, so this first valve here starts in the closed position. That on infinite electricity, not on. Okay, that valve starts in the closed position. Valve is now, why you false? True, it's this one, okay. True, and then, okay, so that's fine. It's the opposite. It needs to be, if it's less than, then it will allow it to open. Symmetries, no, okay, good. All right, so that's good. Let's go back in here and make this a less than. Okay. All right, so if the number in the tank is less than what the desired amount is, it will open the valves. From meter that I thought I put in the tank that I did right here, meter. Desired value, valves. That will open my valves, and then I need to do one more electricity here for that new there, and then the 3 valves get electricity. All right, we're in business here. That's connected to the battery, that's connected to everything else. We're in business, so that's going to save. We'll call it here, and then I think we should be able to go do a run next one. All right, so we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.